The lighting's kind of trash. It's so bright. It's like stupidly bright to the point where I have to have the blind down, and then that creates enough light for the video. And if I have the blind up, it fucks everything. So yeah, sorry if the lighting's like really pink. I've not actually sat down and recorded a video in fucking ages. That last video I just put up, that was recorded ages ago. That Here's Some Album Reviews video. Yeah, I've been kind of busy with, you know, Christmas and whatnot and all that shit. I've actually been working on some music too. Shout out to David for reviewing Gridlock on his recent video. I appreciate that. Made my day, man. That really legit made my day. That was fucking awesome. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I've been making some new stuff, which is cool. That's been taking up some time, you know. I'm here to review 3 albums. Well, no, actually, I'm here to review 4 albums. One is a surprise. I'm going to be reviewing the new Eminem that just came out, the new N.E.R.D, No One Ever Really Dies, and the new Charli XCX mixtape. It's called Pop 2. But yeah, first off, we're going to do Revival, then N.E.R.D. We're going to end it off with Charli, and there's going to be one more at the end. You'll see. But yeah, anyway, here's the plan. For all you subscribers that actually watch my videos on a regular basis, you know, all you loyal motherfuckers, I got some good news for you, you know. Obviously, all the music channels are doing the year-end list, you know, the top 10, top 20, top 50 albums, top 50 songs, blah, worst albums of the year, you know, all that shit. And you might have noticed that I've not done that yet. Well, yeah, it's coming. It's going to happen in January. I got 4 videos planned, alright? I'm going to start off with the year-end list pre-show. Now, I just came up with an idea for a pre-show, like a preparation video. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fucking cool. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to tell you what's going to be in the video. It's going to be very long, and it's going to be great. You're going to like it. All I'm going to say. But yeah, after that, I'm going to do my top 50 albums list. I've made a list. I've been working on it for like a few months now. Just kind of slowly editing it. I've got a top 50 I'm pretty happy with. But then right after that, we're going to be doing the top 100 songs. And at the very end of January, I'm just going to do like a top 10 games of the year list. Because I just like doing that. You might be thinking, why didn't you do a worst album? No. Wait for the pre-show. Wait for that pre-show and you'll see something worst albums related. Yeah, that's my opening preamble out the way. That is what is coming, and I'm going to do my very best to make it worth the wait and enjoyable. But for now, let's talk about this fucking trash, you know. Revival is the worst Eminem album yet. You got Buns, I Got Asperger's. Hell no, we're not playing. Eminem is hailed as one of the best lyricists to ever do it. Not for writing lines like, because this pickle in is hard to deal. No, not for doing that shit. If you go back and listen to Marshall Mathers LP1, and you listen to songs like I'm Back, and Kill You, or Who Knew? Like, the way he is rhyming is so, like, clever, and it all fits the topic at hand, and then the beat perfectly matches the tone of the lyrics. It's like, yeah, this is some really creative, refreshing, well put together rap music that's super different and nothing like what anyone else is doing. And the hooks are really solid too, especially on fucking Who Knew. I never knew I would get this big. You know, he's got some catchy hooks. You had to have some really solid hooks, like on The Way I Am, and that hook is great, and his flow and the way he's so aggressive and shit, and the way that flow carries across the da-da-da-da-da-da. It's just creative and interesting and enjoyable. Revival has none of that. Every song he's going completely just off topic with all these dumb filler lines that make no fucking sense and feel completely out of place. These beats are ridiculously dated and sound horrid with these really awkward rock samples that are used constantly throughout the album that just do not mesh at all with his rapping. Especially on the song Remind Me, which might be my least favorite track, either that or Heat. Remind Me, he had the nerve, he had the balls to sample I Love Rock and Roll. What? Like, come on, bro. How much of a cornball you have to be to sample I Love Rock and Roll? I love you. Like, what the fuck is this chorus? Are you serious? This song is all about him loving someone else because they remind him of himself. I get this, the joke is supposed to be narcissistic, like, oh, I love you because you remind me of me. It's like, oh, you're crazy too, just like me. And there's this really trashy line on this track that it feels completely out of place and it's so hard not to notice. Talking about how fake tits are better than real tits. And the way he talks about that on this track, on like the second or third verse, it is so immature and fucking trashy, and it was just like, what? And yeah, there's not a single good chorus on the whole album. The best chorus is Beyonce's chorus on the opening track, Walk on Water, which is weird that you would even put that track on this album. Like, that track is all about, like, man, the expectations are so high for me. I've set the bar so I can't match up to my expectations. Everyone wants me to do my best, wants me to come back. I'm gonna, I'm coming back. I've had a bit of creative drought, I'm coming back. Walk on water. That's what the song's all about. Is the comeback, the revival of Eminem. He's been working real hard to meet the expectations. That's what the song's all about, right? But then he drops an album. Then the rest of the album, literally, octuples down on all of the fucking problems that people have had for Eminem for over a decade. He doesn't fix any of it. What was the point of that fucking track? What the hell are you doing? And then he goes on to say on numerous tracks, he's like, I'm the best rapper alive. He's doing the bragging tracks, the braggadocious cuts, where he's talking about how he's like, I'm better than I ever was. And it's like, bro, you can't. Why are you saying that when on the first track you were being self-aware of the fact that you're not what you used to be, that you used to be better than you are now? Like, you're literally making reference to that on the first track. And then you go to say, I'm the best I ever was. Like, it's like, what the f***? Like, anyway, we don't have to get into the fucking bars. Those are all lines from this album. And they suck. Eminem stans, like, how can you defend this? I was once very good friends with an Eminem stan. And, he got me into Eminem, actually. And I really enjoyed Eminem when I was younger. I still do enjoy a lot of Eminem's old stuff. I think Slim Shady LP, and The Eminem Show, and Marshall Mathers LP, and a decent chunk of Relapse are all really enjoyable. I was born with a dick in my brain, yeah, fucked in the head. My stepfather said that I sucked in the bed, till one night he snuck in and said, we're going out back, I want my dick sucked in the shed. Are you kidding me? How is that not entertaining and everything? That song is amazing. I fucking love that song. Anyway, that's got one of the best choruses on any Eminem song as well. I love that hook as well. But if you can get the skeletons in my closet, I love that shit. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Relapse. This Eminem stan that I once knew, I couldn't help but notice that whenever I would propose that there could be another rapper better than Eminem, he was always so quick to be like, nah, Eminem's the best. He's the best of all time. No, he's the greatest of all time. No debate. I don't know. I think I like Kendrick a little bit more. Like, nah, man, Eminem's the best of all. Like he was always cool. Tupac overrated as well. I was like, huh. Interesting. I couldn't help but notice as well that he only ever really listened to Eminem when it came to rap music. That too was kind of interesting. I think Eminem stans, they literally, Eminem makes rap music for people who don't listen to rap music. It's very simple. Like, his lines are really easy to follow. He's rapping in a way that's very easy to cut. Like, it's not deep or anything, and it's very surface level. And he talks about some really raunchy, funny stuff, especially on his older projects, and he's still doing, it's not really funny anymore, it's just kind of corny now, but, mentioning, celebrities in very raunchy, and out there ways and stuff, and that shit, I guess, is exciting to people that aren't really huge rap fans. I think Eminem stans, they just by default call Eminem the best. They don't really listen to anyone else, And then when people say this Eminem is trash, it's like, nah, man, this is the best. You just like all that little pump shit, It's like, what the fuck? Like, nah. They always defend the lyrics and shit. It's like, the lyrics on this album are terrible. In regards to lyrics, this is one of the worst albums I've heard all year, without question. It's terrible. I think I honestly enjoyed Lil Pump's mixtape a lot more. Honestly, I did. I found that significantly more tolerable. I was literally listening to this album, Revival, and just being like, what the fuck? I can't, this is so annoying. It was legit, pissing me off. It was aggravating the fuck out of me. Nah. Eminem came through with an atrocious album. This is terrible. Okay, even Offended, which is one of the better tracks here, where he actually had a decent flow and the verses were okay. The hook is horrendous. The hook completely ruins the song. The final two tracks were okay, as he's talking about his daughter in a pretty poignant, passionate way, and the way you flipped it with those pills, and he took the pills, and then and then he flipped it again, he put it down the toilet, flushed it, That was something kind of unexpected, I guess, something. But yeah, I'm feeling a 1. This album wasn't good. It was not enjoyable remotely. Believe was the most boring shit ever. That flow he had on Chloroseptic, where he was like, what the fuck was that? That was hilarious. And all the features, they're exactly what you would expect, really. Ed Sheeran, once again, sounds super overly dramatic. He's always trying to sound super epic, and this is the most important chorus of all time. He's always trying to make whatever song he's singing sound like some epic grand thing, but his voice just does not have the power to pull that off. Yeah, this album sucks. It's terrible. It's bad. It's awful. Probably my least favorite album this year, honestly. It's probably the most annoyed I have been listening to an album this year. I'll probably give it a 1 or a 0. It's between a 1 and a 0. Or maybe I'll just go David Rowe and give it a -607. I don't think I've been more annoyed this year listening to an album. I think this is the peak of being pissed that I've had listening to music this year. I mean, I guess, you know, I did get some enjoyment from this, I guess. Like, the beat on Framed is kind of cool. The second half of Untouchable isn't too bad. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to some, you know, good music. This new N.E.R.D comeback is pretty fucking dope. If you like bouncy, creative, fun production, then you're gonna fucking love this. Pharrell, you know, he's obviously known for being one of the most inventive and fun producers ever, and that shines through on this new album. It's really fun and really inventive. These beats are super bouncy, they're super up-tempo and enjoyable. The use of samples is pretty fun, the bass rolls are super punchy and loud. Percussion just fucking hits. It's just a solid, well-produced N.E.R.D comeback. However, it's a little bit messy. The structure is a little bit awkward, kind of repetitive as well. Like, especially by the end, when you get songs like Secret Life of Tigers, which just kind of sounds like a retread of every other track that came before it. There are times where the album really awkwardly attempts to incorporate politics in a song where they just did not need it, like on the second track, Deep Down Body Thirst. Politically charged messages here just kind of contrast awkwardly with Pharrell's very, like, playful delivery. It's just like a little bit of a weird mix. My favorite tracks, though, I think the best track, when this album has a feature, that's when this shit really shines, man. That track with Gucci Mane was fucking tight. I like the one with both of the ones with Kendrick were fantastic. Kendrick's guest appearances on this album are fucking stellar. Especially the one on Don't Do It. That verse was amazing. Face off, Adolf Hitler. Like, the way he was rapping was so good. It was so quick and intense. It was awesome. MIA had a nice appearance too on Kites. I thought she kind of fit in really well. She had a nice little fun... a few fun refrains on there. I also enjoyed Rihanna on Lemon quite a lot. Her performance was super just electric and fun, and that beat was super bouncy. It was a solid track, not a bad opener. Not a favourite of mine on the album, honestly, but it's definitely an enjoyable track. But my favourite track on the whole album, easily, 1000, featuring Future. This was a single. When I heard this track initially as a single, I was just like, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Assemble in the right. Like, it's just, everything about it is so fun, man. Oh, the shit is fucking the amount of intensity that Pharrell comes with, just the amount of, like, fucking just fun and just energy this track has is super contagious. Future fits in real well, and those synths that come in, those bright synths that come in during the second half, just complete the track, just make it feel completely just progressive and fun. It's just such a great track. ESP was really good too. I liked ESP. I did not really like the one with Andre 3000, Rolling Them Sevens. I thought Andre was the best part of the track. This track it just went on for way too long. The beat got super redundant, and there was a really awkward beat switch up that kind of made no sense at all. That's the thing with this album. There are a lot of beat switches throughout this album, and some of them just don't really fit in at all. Like, it's just a beat switch for the sake of being a beat switch. Like, it's just kind of like an abrupt flip of the tone of the song, like on Voila, but that one kind of worked. But on Rolling Them Sevens, it didn't really work for me, that switch. It was just kind of, it didn't really amount to much, a very underwhelming switch up. Like, that refrain gets super annoying. This track just, I thought was one of the least enjoyable. Andre's verse was pretty cool though. And then Lightning, Fire, Magic Prayer, this track was really just epic. I love how epic it was. Where do I begin? The little refrain. Lightning, fire, magic prayer. All the vocals are just so, like, grand. It's just kind of fun. But I do wish this track was a little shorter. It was like 7 minutes, 50 seconds. It could have been cut down by a couple minutes maybe. It did kind of go on a little bit, but it was still pretty enjoyable. The final track with Ed Sheeran was a weird way to end it, but it wasn't a bad track. And Ed Sheeran sounded pretty good on this song. But Pharrell's little, don't judge me, come touch me, like you love me little thing that he was doing on the first verse. Was on the bridge even. Yeah, that was just kind of weird. His vocals just sounded really just like awkward there, in my opinion. And the switch up on this track was actually pretty decent. I like the vocal effects on the last verse where he's like, wait, I'm talking too much. I'm too fucking high. The little voice thing that happens, it gets all like echoed out. It just sounds kind of tight. Like this album's sort of like a weed song, or the song, sorry, is like a weed song. Overall though, it's a bit messy. It's kind of all over the place. It's a little bit long. It's not very well structured, and politically, the political themes that are here are kind of shoehorned in kind of awkwardly. The lyrics on A Secret Life of Tigers 2 are just kind of fucking stupid. Kind of goofy, and they're supposed to be kind of playful and goofy, but it comes off kind of cringy to me. It's a little bit cheesy in my opinion. Overall, I feel like a strong 7. It was fun. I thought it was cool. The features were solid. You know, it was a good comeback. It was a really good comeback, and I thought they brought the N.E.R.D sound. They brought, like, Pharrell's, like, style to, like, the modern, like, sort of trap and, like, you know, current hip-hop scene. They kind of merged the two that kind of cleverly. It sounded modern and commercial, but it also sounded like N.E.R.D's like traditional sound. They kind of blended it really well. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought it was cool. Strong 7 from me. So yeah, moving on to Charli XCX. I like this a lot more than Number One Angel. I didn't like Number One Angel. I thought that was a very annoying and unmemorable pop project, but this I think is a little bit more daring and a little bit more adventurous. I think Charli works best when she is really taking risks, like trying something weird. And this was weirder than Number One Angel. Number One Angel was more of just kind of like a standard pop project, and a few catchy choruses here and there, but overall it didn't really stick with me at all. But yeah, this project though, I'm getting numerous tracks I'm coming back to. Like the song, I Got It. I got it. Like, the way she says it is so sick. I don't know why. I got it. The little auto-tune thing, and then the way she holds the final it, like, she sounds like she's so just, like, fed up. Like, alright, I got it. Like, okay. Like, she gets the idea. Like, it's just, that's how it comes up to me, and I think it just works. It just has this attitude to it that I just enjoy. As does her verse. Her, like, really whispery tone on this track is so sick. And the features are all pretty cool. Like, Cupcake is awesome on this track. Brooke Candy at the beginning, she sets it off pretty well. And then Pablo Vittar at the end with this like really grand like finish. It's just like, what the fuck? And then that outro comes in. That like the last like 20 seconds, the last like 30 seconds of this track are insane. This track was crazy. I love I Got It. I thought that song was awesome. I also really liked Fembot. I thought that was pretty cool. The final track was alright as well. I liked her singing on that track, and the melody was pretty cool, and the way the instrumentation would kind of swell up and get more grand as it went along. That was pretty nice. Bosch was fucking great too. The Carly Rae Jepsen track was cool. Like, there were some solid tracks here. The Unlock It was okay, but I did think the Unlock It refrain got kind of annoying. Unlock it, lock it, lock it. And she kept saying like lock it so much, it was so fucking irritating by the end. But the track besides that was pretty great. Like the beat and shit, that was pretty sweet. But besides that, the rest of the cuts on here, I wasn't really 100% a fan of. Like, my least favorite track was probably Out of My Head. That song sucks. That song is terrible. I fucking hate that song. Beat is completely bland. It's the most bland beat here. The least daring track on the whole album. Tove Lo's appearance kind of sucks. The hook, the hook is not good. Like, this track just all around didn't like it. Tears with Carolyn Polachek was okay. That was decent. Didn't really stick with me. Not really a highlight, but it was fine. I really enjoyed Carolyn Polachek's appearance on the track. The song, I think it was called Lucky. That was really shit too. It was like an auto-tune ballad type thing, and it didn't really amount to anything. It was just kind of an out-of-place moment on the album to me. The song Delicious was a complete mess. There was a part of the song where like the song just cuts off, and then you hear boom clap like through like a phone or something, and then just resumes. It's like, what the fuck was that? It was just kind of weird. I was like, what the fuck was the point of that? It's a bit of a messy album, you know? It's a little bit of a disjointed body of work, but I do like the whole idea of it, like pop too. Like, this is the sequel to pop music. Like, this is what pop could eventually become. Like, this very daring and crazy and weird and off the fringe kind of fucking pop music is very just like experimental and nuts. This is significantly more attention grabbing to me than Number One Angel was, even though I guess Number One Angel you could see as a more just kind of streamlined and catchy project. This is just trying to be like this is sort of like a vision of what pop could eventually become in the future, maybe one day or something like that. That's what I'm getting from the title. Pop 2 is the sequel to Pop. That's kind of what this is coming off as to me. And I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was a solid mixtape. Didn't mind it. Thought it was alright. I didn't love it or anything. I felt like a 6. Thought it was okay. Enjoyed it. Worth checking out if you want some experimental kind of weird pop shit. This could suffice in some areas for you. I Got It. It's fucking awesome. I fucking love that song. So I got that, which I'm happy with. But yeah, overall, film a 6. Not a bad project. Now for the big surprise. Hunter Jack. And the surprise is I'm not actually going to be reviewing it at all. I'm not actually going to be reviewing it even remotely, because what's the point when David Rowe put it so perfect?
Can somebody please help me understand how two of the biggest hook men in rap right now came together and made a collaboration album that somehow has exactly 0 catchy hooks?
Yeah, thank you. He's 1000% right. How in the fuck? Quavo, Travis Scott. These guys are highly praised for having great choruses. They come together with a collab album that has precisely zero memorable or good hooks. How in the fuck does that happen? This is nowhere near as exciting as it should have been. You know, you listen to songs like Pick Up the Phone, you listen to songs like Oh My Dis Side, you're like, yeah, these motherfuckers work well together. They make some good shit together, they have a lot of chemistry, it works. They're a good duo. They come together with a full-length album together. And we get the most generic shit in the world. Are you serious? You serious? I like Dubai shit. I like Modern Slavery. And I don't mind Motorcycle Patches. Besides that, I ain't got nothing off this thing. It was just completely boring and generic. I'm feeling like a 4. So yeah, that was the big surprise. I hope you enjoyed my video on these albums and stuff. I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, that's going to be my last review of 2017. Next up is the list. Have a good day. Bye!